Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Stephen Ford, and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's happening, everybody?
Hey, everyone. What's going on?
So it's been another exciting tournament weekend at the 40Ks. Two of us played in tournaments, and well, there was a bigger tournament too that I think we should definitely talk about at the very least.
There's a lot of dice that were rolled this past weekend across the United States.
Across the nation, coast to coast, all the way from Southern Pines, North Carolina, all the way to Los Angeles.
I painted a few models. That's the same, I think. Competitive painting.
But did you really paint them competitively?
No, I was competing with myself to see if I could get it done, in the allotted time.
True story, no lie. I'm at this tournament and I'm setting up and like people are coming up like, Juice, wow, how did you get those gold highlights in those custodian jet bikes? And I was like, well, how much time you got, buddy? Let me tell you. I started out, I blended some shit, and then I got a small paintbrush. Have you heard of these things called tufts of grass?
Tufts,
they make your faces look really good. I was like, man, I ain't painting these. Rob did that over there. They're like, oh, Rob, how did you paint those?
I was still painting on I was highlighting the spears at the event. I was like, yo, I need to tighten a couple of these spears up.
Yeah, you're like, has that hobo died yet? I've been waiting to paint him. I'm like, yeah, he's yours. Go ahead.
All right, moving on.
I've never heard of anyone who has like a standby touch-up guy. Like, oh, this one broke. Let me glue back together, touch it up. There you go. Like, just like with him at the tournament.
He was there the entire time.
I was actually painting my ogres, and I had to stop because I realized that they're literally so fat. I missed some of the fat rolls, and so I was like, dang it, I can't paint anything because I got to still use the airbrush because they have like right above their little pants. There's like this fat roll that I thought was part of their pants, but it's really like spilling over the pants. I was like, dang it. So I was like looking for stuff to paint. I was like, geez, let me get the models.
I just want you to know that's how I experience life too. Like, but IRL, like that's as I look down.
There's an extra fat roll I didn't know about.
I'm like, I can only tell that's not my shirt because it's the same color as my skin.
we all got problems. Play more Age of Sigmar. You'd be good. We saw problems.
But will I? All right. Fuck all that. Give us some content.
What, Tabletop Market Watch already? So soon?
Yes. We have so much to cover today.
But before we do that, I have some other content, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So this is kind of a special moment for me. Those of you who have only grown up knowing the Michael Bay version of Transformers.
Oh, this is huge.
You can finally see the 86 version on the big screen and be traumatized like we were.
Literally crying in theaters.
Stupid freaking.
Please elaborate.
Should have just left the gun. Should have just left it there, But no, he had to reach for the gun, and then Optimus had to save him.
Are you telling me that it's got back to the big screen? Is it like selected theaters? Like what's going on?
It is. Yeah, it is coming back to
month.
the big screen next month as like a Fathom Events, the 86 Transformers film back on the big screen.
Across the country?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
Well, wherever they do the Phantom events.
Yeah, whether they do the Fathom events and stars really, Weird Al Yankovic.
Wow.
It's Orson Welles' last performance.
Yep.
Leonard Nimoy's in it.
Robert Stack.
Yeah. It's probably, to be honest, it's probably legit unwatchable, but it can't be worse than the Michael Bay movies. It really can't. So, and there's some great quotes in it and some really awesome at the time, but super cheesy 80s rock now.
Dude, The Rock is so clutch. Let me tell you, I only have one problem with the movie. And that's because I'm like a graphic designer. Do you guys notice that when Rodimus Prime, Hot Rod at the time, he picks out the Autobot Matrix out of the I mean, not spoil this for anybody. It's only been out for 30 years. When he picks it out of the dead Optimus Prime and hands it to Ultra Magnus, do you notice like when he puts it in his body, like there's this weird like stutter frame where it's like there but not there, then it's there again in his body, like you know, like in animation where if someone turned to the right, like you'd see the other side of their glasses on the wrong side of their nose for a second. Yeah. Does anyone else ever see that when you see that scene in the movie?
I don't like, see it. I'm sorry.
Like that's man, that's the part that kills me. Like I have no problem with the music, no problem with Rodimus Prime, none of that. My issue is simply that. Like, how did that get through?
I will say the beginning of the movie is so legit when you just see these like random robot, you know, sentient robots on a planet, and the guy's like, "It's Unicron," and there's like a moon coming at their planet. And it's one transformer. I was just like, well, they're dead. Like that's it.
One dude.
One dude. Just like, yeah, you're not getting away.
I'll tell you though, the sequence when they take Astro Train and they attack the stronghold and like Optimus Prime rolls in and he starts fucking shit.
Oh,
yeah.
And you're like, Optimus Prime is a war machine, son. like he may be in a goddamn, you know, semi, but don't get it twisted. That dude is literally like a fucking ninja war machine.
Well, they had to tone it back in the first couple of episodes of the cartoon because he basically did the same thing, like fighting Megatron. Like he was like making war weapons out of his hands and like all that stuff. And then like, man, this is a children's cartoon. Maybe we should tone that back.
Yeah, some folks in the chat are saying they're putting it out because of the new Bumblebee movie, and that is absolutely, it's absolutely true. And honestly, when I saw the trailer for the new Bumblebee movie, I actually wanted to see it. It reminded me like a Herbie movie. It looked like it had a lot of heart, as opposed to a lot of explosions and cheesecake shots from you know,
what about
Victoria's Secret model wannabes.
What about the minstrel show that was was Bernie at the car lot?
Jeez,
that's in every Michael Bay movie.
The late great, but god damn.
To Michael Bay, like diversity is not a wooden ship from the Civil War era.
It's not an old wooden ship.
It is a minstrel show.
The hate.
I love the guy. He's bringing in foreign dollars and paying for people's pensions with these.
Me and Haspel have had very long conversations about this guy, and it's like, as a fanboy, obviously we're not totally happy with what he's been laying down. But when you really think about the industry and like what the film industry does for the economy, the fucking nation's economy, and how it brings in, transfers money from another currency into our currency. Like, and like you think about like just simple, if that dude puts out 1,000 Transformers movies that make each $1 billion in not American dollars, but to the American exchange, and then thus the constant string of employment opportunities because of it, that motherfucker's a goddamn national hero.
Yeah, he's an asshole if he doesn't make a Transformers movie.
That's what Haspel said. That's what
At this point,
if he said, no, I want to do something a little bit more artistic. No, motherfucker,
people's pensions depend on you making a Transformers movie. Like, get out there.
I want to get back to the part.
Back into the damn thing. Go.
I want to get back to the. Sorry, Haspel. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's talk about Bumblebee. Bumblebee isn't a Camaro. Tell me more about this.
I don't know if he's a Camaro in the new movie. I don't remember what he was in the trailer.
He's literally a VW Bug.
Well, I was talking to some people in the industry, and they were telling me like, you know, obviously there was licensing deals and everything like that. But I've heard this, and I can't confirm this from some people out here, that like Volkswagen has basically had a deal forever since basically WW2 that like their brand can't be showed in warfare, in anything that could be perceived as combat or warfare, for certain reasons. And and
that makes sense.
So that's kind of like let them look for new sponsors to like change his make and model. But I think maybe they've like pulled back on some of that, but that could just be hearsay from what I hear around here. I've never like done a Google search, though Google search is not always the most accurate way of discerning information in 2018. But I don't really care what kind of car he is, you know, but I don't want him to be a car based on sponsorship, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, in the original movie, he was or in the original series and everything, he was obviously a beetle, a VW beetle, even the toy he was. But no, that's good to see. It's good to see. I love it. Thank you. I would have forgotten about that hospital.
That was a big deal to me.
That is like, a big deal. Before we jump into 40K stuff, or GW stuff, not quite 40K yet, guys. Sorry, it's gonna be a scratchy few more weeks. But just shown off today at Gen Con was a very small miniature, about the size of a cat, for Star Wars Armada. The Executor, the Super Star Destroyer, is coming, apparently.
Wow, they're finally pulling the trigger on that?
Apparently.
I might buy that just for the model.
Well, you might not, after I tell you how much supposedly it is. $199.
Maybe not.
Haspel, let me hit you with it. Haspel, in hobby money, that's basically free. Let me hit you with this. So this is what you would be buying, Haspel. Let me just so in case you need to understand, anybody watching at home, this is what you'd be functionally buying. You'd be buying a HeroClick. Okay? You'd be buying a gigantic Galactus HeroClick that costs $400. And it sits on your shelf because of the shame that you feel for 10 years. And it is literally a subpar miniature because it's goddamn still a HeroClick. That's just big. And it has a bunch of combat dials on it. And you look at it every day and you're like, I wish I really had $400 right now. But you can't bring yourself to sell it because reasons.
Wow, that's probably worth more than $400 now.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know how much my Cthulhu is. I mean, I have a Cthulhu that big that's a horror clicks. And it was like a Gen Con limited edition. It's probably worth some coin.
Yeah, I think the only reason I keep it though is because like legit, like when I bought it, I actually overdrafted my bank account. And I think it ended up costing me $600.
I remember that. You're like, I had just enough, and you pulled it out of your bank account. And like life choices, it was buy the Galactica, eat ramen, and have no money in my account and take the draft. But I'm obviously taking that choice. Who cares about living smart?
Like every like all my gas, like for my car going to work that week, was like the whole write a check for gas move. Like, like, let's see.
Damn.
Can't do that in 2018.
No.
Well, this thing supposedly $199, 6 firing arcs, 3 attacks. It will fit in a 400-point game, supposedly.
Will it fit in a 400-point board?
It's cat size. The guy literally came out and he's like holding it. He's like, this is happening. Like, what? So I'm excited for that, but I don't know where the game goes from here at that point. Q1 2019. I'm excited.
You've introduced Titans into the game.
Yeah.
There can't just be one.
No, like I don't know what you take to oppose it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess you land a small strike team and you get a A-wing pilot like Tokyo drifting in the bridge. I don't know.
We're too small. They'll never detect us.
Yeah. Just fly casual, I guess. All right, jumping over to Games Workshop land. Next week, we've got Necromunda coming out for its quarterly release. The Kaldor Gang. I think a lot of people were waiting for them. Normal $40 box, gang cards for $15. The Gang War 4 books coming out for $30. So a lot of folks looking forward to that on the Necromunda side of things. There is several Stormcast and Night Haunt releases again. Bladeghast Revenants for $45. Dreadscythe Harridans for $45. Stormcast Eternal Lord Ordinator for $35 clan pack, and Evocators on Celestial Draco lines, which are the Thundercats, as I guess they're calling them. So we got Thundercats, Chocobos, Dragon Cats, like all the mounts in Age of Sigmar. So there's $60 there. So, and Haspel's got some board games for us.
Yeah, so there's like 2 new board games that they're announced. I don't know if they're actually coming out like soon, but
probably holidays.
Soon-ish. Yeah, soonish. The one is Blitz Bowl, right? Is that what it's called? It's like a smaller, faster playing Blood Bowl. And then the one I'm looking forward to is called Space Marine Adventures. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, like Labyrinth of the Necron.
Yeah, Labyrinth of the Necrons, and it's like got 5 different models that looks like the Japanese limited edition ones that we couldn't get here, but they actually cast them in different, each one in a different color plastic. So, you don't have to paint stuff, and these are really targeted towards hobbyists that are brand new, you know. And I think they're probably going to go hand in hand with their new middle grade novels that they're turning out. But what's interesting is that these things are set to premiere at like Barnes and Noble, not at local game stores. So that's interesting that they're going after that demographic, like a completely different demographic. But I'm really excited about the Space Marine one because it's a co-op game. So if you're wanting to play with, like, you know, a younger hobbyist or whatever, your kid or something, you're on the same side. So you're not playing adversarially, you're playing against the board, which is great. And then I happen to like co-op games anyway, because it means you can play them alone. So I still play Assassinorum quite a bit. And I'm looking forward to picking up this Space Marine Adventures thing just to be able to just like play a quick board game, you know, on my own if I have to. So it'd be a lot of fun. And then the Blitz Bowl, I don't know why, man, but when they re-released the new Blood Bowl, I tried to get back into it, and I have a confession that I was never greatly into Blood Bowl to begin with. When in high school, when we were playing, my buddy bought Blood Bowl, I bought Space Hulk, and every single time we played Blood Bowl, I always went into it kind of like, well, I guess so, you know. Like, I guess
means
you
I gotta
bought
do
it,
this. Yeah, so you'll play with me in Space Hulk.
Exactly. So I got it. So I'll play Blood Bowl so that we can play Space Hulk later. But then when they re-released it, I was pumped for it and I wanted to get back into it, and played a couple times, and I was just kind of like, this is, if I'm going to spend this much time playing it, I'm just going to play a different game, namely 40K. And it's also probably because I don't like the sports ball. So that probably taints me somewhat. But this Blitz Bowl thing, I'm like, hey, this looks kind of fun. Like, I can get behind this, you know. What I honestly want them to do, because I could totally get behind this game, is and a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about, but there used to be a football game that was on this like shaking field platform that vibrated, and you would play.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was like, and they would like move around.
These little guys, and you'd line them up, and they had a little foam football, and you'd set up the play and set these dials on which way you wanted guys to turn and break. And then you'd plug this thing in, and it would just vibrate, and these guys would move around, and it was not really very accurate at all, but in your imagination, it was like, my guys are doing the play I want, you know. I would play the hell out of that if they hooked it up to a Blood Bowl game.
I think that's what we had before video games, is what you meant to say.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
In between the stone knives and bear skins and video games. and Pong and Atari, we had that.
Yep, that was it.
So
I agree. Well,
yeah, but I'm looking forward to them for the Barnes and Noble. And sadly, Barnes and Noble, they got to sell games now because people aren't buying books.
You got to adapt or die.
Books.
People read.
I don't got time for that. Haspel.
Can't just download it.
Haspel, can you read your next book to me?
Ooh,
I might be
Haspel,
able to.
that is some shit. That's a business plan for you. You know, like literally in-home private catering, personal chefs. Haspel, create the business plan and put yourself out there. I am a personal book reader.
I use words. I'm a wordologist.
You know, while you're riding in the car, you don't put a DVD on, or excuse me, a DVD. You don't put a CD or listen to Audible. You put me on speakerphone.
And I would personally read an
personally. You can tell me what you want. Like, do you want more anger? All right, let me do it again.
Like, you can even like read people's emails for them. Like, can you give me that email with a little bit more passion? Sure. A little sexier, Haspel.
Read that 3 times wild for me, why don't you? Oh my gosh.
Is this really Haspel or is this a recording?
Yep. Spoiler, it's going to be a recording 99% of the time.
Is that it for Tabletop Marketplace?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I guess since we're talking about Haspel reading things for people, we should talk about Haspel's new podcast.
Yeah, so we've been toying around. Kenny and I did a bunch of tests last week. In fact, a couple people might have seen us like go live for 30 seconds and then turn off again because we're testing stuff. But I'll be launching a new podcast probably sometime this weekend, and I apologize for not being able to give a more definitive thing. But what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of just preloading shows before they go on Libsyn. So I'll be recording a couple episodes kind of on the sly. And then once we actually go live, then I'll have a regular schedule and everything like that. So this is like more of a soft opening kind of thing.
But also, it'll be a similar format to you guys see here. It'll be simulcast. You'll be able to watch the live tapings of Haspel's new podcast on Twitch and on YouTube simultaneously. Then eventually, you'll be able to catch those on his YouTube channel. As things roll out.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting.
So prepare for a whole new brand of technical difficulties. I've got ants in my eyes. I don't know. Is Kill Team good? I have no idea. I can't see. I have ants in my eyes. I also can't feel things.
Am I on fire?
Door in the door.
All right, you guys have sold me on it. This must be amazing.
Haven't played Kill Team yet. A lot of people seem very hype on it. By the way, there's a cat on my lap. She's leaving now. And well, I mean, the value just goes without saying. Like the starter box, you get the terrain and the rule book for the price of the starter box, assuming you don't get a discount, but who doesn't get a discount at this point, right? So, and then, everything else that comes in there is basically value. So you double your money on it. It's that whole like mentality. GW doesn't give discounts per se, but they give us bundles and perceived savings. And that's why we're buying this stuff at like we've never bought it before. Each expansion box, same deal. You get these values, whether it's a 20% savings, whether it's a start collecting box kind of savings, like 35%, something like that. Like it's just good value. Like you're silly if you don't buy it, if your chip doesn't go off, so to speak, like to talk in Haspel terms.
Yeah, I got to see the terrain up close. Definitely people are buying it because when I went to go pick up a copy, I figured I'd just walk in and I'm just going to grab the rule book. I don't want the box set. I'm just going to grab the rule book. And I was laughed at my FLGS. They were just like literally like, oh, you should have like reserved that because we sold out in like the first 30 minutes. So a lot of people are playing it, but I got to see the terrain up close. And not just the terrain from the core box, but from one of the, what are they calling, the kill zone or whatever.
Right.
And I got to see, I guess it was the industrial kill zone terrain that looks like the Necromunda stuff that had the domes and the fuel doors and the catwalks and stuff. Mm-hmm. All this stuff looks great. The new terrain looks phenomenal. It looks like the regular city terrain, except they made it bigger. So it's taller so that, because models have gotten bigger with like the Primaris and Dreadnoughts and stuff like that. They also did some stuff like if you want to cut the doors out,
yeah, you can.
They're like pre-cut.
Yeah,
they already like scored the plastic for you, so you're not sitting there waiting to make a trip to the emergency room by jamming a hobby knife right into your finger.
Haspel, give me how many boxes would it take to outfit a quality 40K 6x table? How many are we talking here?
It depends. If you keep, because like if you got the main thing, I would say 2. Okay, but it would be a lot of like level to go old school, like level 1 terrain. So they would just be like
not
little ruins and stuff, not massive or anything. Okay. You could populate the whole table with stuff that gives you cover, with that. Because remember the old ruin set
Oh, sure.
That's what they kind of look like,
Yeah.
except that they actually stack together, and you could make a big old cathedral out of it.
Yeah, the old ruin set back in the day was all just basically bottom level. It wasn't that second tier.
Yeah, but this will stack up. Like,
wow.
Yeah, they were really clever in how they did it. With that ruin set can basically be the top of any building that's like a ruined building. And then, but it can also be its own terrain on its own level. And then you've got like these 4-inch sections that, again, remember the old what was it? The Cities of Death stuff was like 3 inches. That was like those little panels that you would glue together.
Oh,
now
yeah.
these things actually, they support each other. They lock in, and you can do them at weird angles and stuff, whatever you want to do. And then you can go higher with it. You can, there's Gothic buttresses. There's all sorts of like, they could release accessory packs for all this stuff. So it's very ingenious how they did it. And they have little supporting pieces. If you want to build out the ruined floors, it all locks in together. You just have to use a little bit of glue. That's it. So it's pretty dope. Haspel was definitely spot on. And just the fact that you get them basically in bundle deals in the starter is pretty clutch, because the sets by themselves are like, $35, $50, $75, $100.
Well, maybe I'll buy this and just do my first display board series.
oh, yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. That was basically that's never.
That was a troll 101. I got it.
I was trolling.
I will no longer support any of your ideas.
No, I'm excited about this. Like, terrain has been on the forefront of my mind. So I was like, I wonder how good a deal this is, and terrain and whatnot. So awesome. I'm going to have to look into it.
Yep, 100%. And hopefully they got some stuff coming out this week. And there are also deals. The starter boxes or the faction starters go for $50, and you get 60 to 70 depending on which one. So good deal's still coming, but we still have a lot of factions that don't have their starter, and people like the starters because you get the little tokens, you get the tactics cards in there and everything, and it really helps out in your games, from what I understand, because I haven't played yet.
I'm smelling Kill Team in our future, Robbie B.
I feel like coming to the longwar.net near you. Speaking of which, we have the digitally remastered Epic Showdown between Juice and Rob is on the Hall of Veterans right now. In case anybody was wondering why that's the case, the last video had some technical issues with syncing issues, potentially corrupt video files. So the entire video has been re-engineered and remastered, and it's even different length. It's like 20 minutes shorter, faster pace. So like if people, because it got really out of sync. So if you want to see Rob's return to the tabletop and simultaneously Knights doing super well on the table, that's up on the Hall of Veterans right now. But before we get into it too much, let's take a quick commercial break and let's talk about the top 3 lists in Warhammer 40K.
Before we take a break, I want to shout out Angelo, who I met over at Enchanted Realms, and he's a longtime listener and everything. He was there playing Magic, though, not 40K, but that's all right. I won't hold it against you. I just wanted to say hi.
Finally, the Long War swag is here. LongWarSwag.com, the official home of Long War merchandise. We've got a range of merchandise exclusive to the Long War brand, Next Level Painting, and Spikey Bits. Definitely log in today while supplies lasts. Veterans, I've got news for you. Get your best deals online at dicehead.com. Long War Vets, call or email for your best vet deals. That's dicehead.com. elricshobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elric's Hobbies. elricshobbies.com.
Dear veterans, quickly, make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
Hey, we're back. Robbie B, I heard there was a big tournament this weekend in the Bay Area Open.
It's true.
Or there was an open tournament in the Bay Area. I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
So it turns out knights actually, there might be something to these knights in Warhammer, the Warhams 40K. Out of nowhere, out of the shadows. Well, I guess he wasn't always in the shadows because you guys know him and you know of his types of lists. But Don Husin, I think I'm saying it right, probably not, took the first place slot with his Death Guard and Renegade Knights. And then we saw 4 out of the 5 top lists also being knights with Jeff in Control Robinson, the only one with just a Custodes list, in 4th place. So
don't just say just Custodes. It wasn't just Custodes.
Oh, okay. So it had a CP farm too.
None of these are also just night lists. Like,
yeah, there's only, if I'm not mistaken, Robbie B is list number who came in second and third. Are those similar to where they had like 3 armigers? Like there was like some lists that are heavier in the knights. It was like a triple armiger.
One list was literally 4 knights and skeleton crew.
Yeah.
And then 2 were the Castellan Catachan build with 2 Sun captains.
We're seeing that list a lot of places these days. The Castellan, Catachan, you know. I personally cannot wait to, if I truly am heading to Nova and whatnot, to play against all the Castellans and all the Catachan builds.
Yeah, so let's break it down, Haspel. Let's break down, or Haspel, do you have these lists handy? Did I say Haspel?
I do not have the list.
Did say Haspel, and Haspel does not.
Haspel's got the terrain. Haspel, how good is Kill Team?
It's amazing. It's great. I literally don't know.
Rob, let's do it. Let's do it dramatically. Let's do it with the 3rd place list backwards. What's the 3rd place list?
Well, we don't have the exact list, but I believe when I checked it Sunday night that was also the Castellan. Here, let me break it down. That was also a Castellan Catachan list. So
played by
Jack Harpster. So it was a Castellan Knight, House Raven, of course, Catachan battalion with all the good relics that we would always take. The Kurov's Aquila, and of course Grant Strategist.
Do you mean Cadian?
No, it was Catachan.
Oh, okay. It was Catachan Jungle Fighters coming in gangster.
It seems like everybody's taking Catachan, to be honest. Also,
that's exactly what everybody's playing, and you know how I feel about it. They're doing good, so good for them.
Yeah, I just don't think it's as good as the Cadian version.
I do not think so either. So a similar list was in 5th place. So let's go over that one since we actually have it. The difference between these two was one was 3 gallants. So just sub out the gallants and just say there was, I don't know, Castellan.
Rob, if you need to, I have everybody's exact list on the BCP.
Well, go.
Yeah, if you want.
So that's weird that I pulled it up in the 3rd place one. It was a different list Monday morning than it was Sunday night. Can you verify that?
I don't know the time difference. I can just tell you what the list is right now. His list is cut off on the top. It's only showing, It doesn't show his HQs, but it's, the standard infantry, Astropath, Ministorm Priest, and 5 Bulgrin, 3 squads by 3 mortars with a Castellan. Then he is going to,
the Astartes battalion makes no sense.
Yeah, I am. My mind is getting stunned right now. Oh, this is how he's utilizing an Astartes battalion, right? Because they share the word Astartes, this is actually legal. So he's got a Rune Priest, a Dark Angels Primaris Librarian, and a Space Marine Primaris Librarian with 3. A Space Marines Primaris Librarian, a Dark Angels Primaris Librarian, and the Rune Priest. That's his 3 HQs. So because they can be all in the same detachment, because they share more than one keyword, they share Imperium and Adeptus Astartes.
Oh, so is he doing Rune Priest, giving all the knights 2-up armor saves?
Yes, he is absolutely farming all the good psychic abilities. So he's probably in Space Marines. He's going Null Zone, right? In In the Space Wolves, he's going extra armor to his guys or getting +1 benefit for always being in cover.
Yeah, no, yeah, you straight up you count as in cover, period. So like they have basically 2-up, so the Knights have a 2-up armor save. These probably might be doing Mighty Heroes on somebody too, just give them that T9.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of them could be toughness 9, and and they can all have so like he can definitely cover the weaknesses. One of them's gonna have a 3-up invulnerable. 2 of them are gonna be at 3-up invulnerable. Doesn't he have the Forge Roll one?
He has the Castellan, and let me tell you right now. Nope, that's it.
Yeah,
just one night.
It was just the Castellan.
That's just the Castellan.
Yeah.
So that's actually the best case scenario. We've been talking about your knights actually go down.
Yeah, so he's running the Castellan with tough. I guarantee it's Mighty Heroes toughness 9, +1 to its armor save because it can always count as being in cover. Like right out the gate, that fundamentally changes how hard it is to interact with that knight, and of course, rotate iron shields.
3 up, yeah, 2 up, 3 up. That's good.
I guess. So I guess I didn't realize that was actually a thing. I just thought it was an error, and I didn't want to start another like, hey, this list is invalid, like scandal thing.
Yeah, no, it's it definitely that's why it's a Space Marine Astartes battalion. But yeah, they share more than one keyword.
I'm just speechless. I feel like that goes against the point of the rule of 3 and the FAQ and the whole like nerfing of the soup.
It currently does, and then it'll get fixed. We need people to exploit the issues with the keywords and stuff like that in order to fix them.
I'm just blown away that that's a thing. Okay, well now we know. Learn something new every day then.
Let me tell you what, that's a tough motherfucking night to take out if you can't bypass its invulnerables and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then simultaneously you have obviously just the girth of all the models, but he does have a smaller 5-man Bulgren Star that he can get down to a 2-up invulnerable. So yeah, he's got some hard to deal with units.
I don't know. I'm telling you right now, that list, that picture in Best Coast was different Monday morning and what it is right now than what it was Sunday evening. And I thought it was a troll, so I didn't cover it. But
we'll have to. The internet will let us know.
Yeah, the internet will definitely let us know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I drank too much. I don't know. But
and then list number 2. Who took second overall?
Was, Salty John, Imperial Knights. It looks like he was Astra Militarum Battalion company commander, of course, with, I guess he gave Grand Strategist and the Relic to the same dude. So Kurav's Aquila and Grand Strategist, same dude, empty company commander, 3 infantry squads with a mortar. Then he had his knight, Castellan was going to be the warlord, and also took a relic apparently.
Well, you get a free warlord. You get a free relic for when your warlord is there. So I like the fact, warlord trait. That's just saying because if I'm not mistaken, they have the ability to do, yes. Yep.
Yeah, you can play the stratagem. So
I do want to shout out this guy. I love his list setup. I love the line there that he can just ride in.
And before
right
we go
away.
too farther, I wanted to ask, what keywords do these Space Marine Psychic Powers actually can they actually apply to these knights? Because now I'm talking about like this, the Stormcaller. I'm thinking about Mighty Heroes. I'm like, but don't those say Astartes units? Like,
I can grab the Marine book.
Now I'm curious. As I think about it,
I think it even goes, now that you bring that up, I don't even think it says a blanket statement Astartes. I believe that it says Space Wolves within 6 inches get +1 to their saves. I don't know about Mighty Heroes.
Now I'm suddenly curious about like what these librarians even do in the list.
Mighty Hero says Adeptus Astartes model.
Wow.
So what about space? So I'm like, what the fuck are these?
Well, so no, that's Adeptus Astartes. If I'm not mistaken, the Night Titan does have Adeptus Astartes special rule.
I don't believe it does.
What?
I do not believe it does. Like we gotta confirm this.
That's the big thing. We need to check the Knight Castellan.
Hold on.
If it does it, holy shnikes, if it does.
Over under, I say it does.
Imperial Knights, Questor Allegiance, Household. Titan Vehicle Dominus Class Knight Castellan for keywords. So faction keywords are all that matter at this point, right?
You just read all the keywords. I did not hear the one I needed to hear.
I didn't hear it either.
No. I'm still confused.
So those librarians were with which force?
Their own supreme command. It's
Their own battalion.
Because they're faction keyword Imperium.
Interesting.
well, not faction keyword Imperium. They have, not just they're Imperium and Astartes. So they bypass the part in the book that says you all have to have the following chapter traits in order to benefit from these series of special rules, and like things like objective secure and things like, specifically, a unique trait that each legion would give you. They basically sacrifice all those to do what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering what's the better. There must be some master play there that I'm not seeing. Like buff themselves, I guess, yeah. But like, what's going on here? Are they on like Terminator armor or something? Like I'm trying to figure this shit out. Like what's the
No, and a Space Marine Primaris Librarian, a Dark Angels Primaris Librarian, and a Rune Priest.
Might need to call this guy because I need to figure out what his genius is.
Stormcaller says Space Wolves.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So
There's something to it.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm straight up. I'm baffled. I'm baffled.
Yeah, Longship Loft in the chat is saying that Dark Angels and Space Wolves both have a power for -1 to hit on target that can stack to -2 to hit.
Oh, you mean it's an offensive ability? Like they can put it on somebody?
Like it's a strat.
Okay, so if they can like curse you to be -1 twice, then that might be interesting. You're cursing something that you're worried about. So like that would be the same thing as buffing the knight up to be harder to kill. You'd be actually debuffing the unit you're worried about. So
what was it? Primaris Psyker?
Yeah, Primaris Librarian Psyker.
Oh, right.
Oh, there it is. So it's a bubble of -1 to hit.
I dig it. Yeah, like I said, there must be something to it.
What is that? What power is that? What ability? Oh, is it a stratagem?
Try to get give me the names in chat. It's helping us out big time on this podcast. Give me the names on these so we can accurately report it. Cause we're trying, like I said, we're trying to figure out exactly what the play here is. So if it's a double stack for minuses to hit. So the space with power is on the enemy, which is clutch. Because we gotta flip through a billion books to figure this out.
Yeah, like literally.
Or I guess just build the list in Battlescribe and try and flip the page. But does he have his psychic powers listed on the list?
No.
So Tempest Wrath, if manifested an enemy unit within 18 of the Psyker, your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls they make for that unit until the next psychic phase.
There it is. So he has 2 abilities to make -1 bubbles.
So what's the other one? Mindworm is the other one?
Oh, that's Dark Angels.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He's stacking 2 different abilities for -1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sick.
Okay.
Way to find a niche combo. Like I mad respect. I absolutely love that.
So the second list we were talking about is the one that has 4 knights in it, right?
The second list, yes.
Who took second overall? Yep, is John.
There's a couple of them with this one. Crusader with rapid fire battle cannon, heavy flamer, and 2 gallants. After the Castellan. House Raven, of course. Reroll 1s. So good.
Yeah, so I like it. There's 4 knights and 2 of them being gallants at second overall at BAO. And as Robbie B was alluding to earlier, 5th overall at BAO was triple gallant. Punchy McPunchertons are a real thing.
I imagine he took Daenerys for that one to get the non-neg 1 to hit fist.
That's exactly what he did.
Super clutch. All right, let's talk about this. Is the one everyone's been waiting for. Let's talk about this Death Guard list. That one featuring Renegade Knights. No stratagems, no fresh new house traits or any of that cool shit. Literally 1 knight with double gatlins and 2 autocannon armigers, lance detachment. What's in that list, Juice?
It's he's got a demon prince with wings.
Well, hold on. Is what Vanguard detachment?
No, this is a spearhead.
Spearhead.
Yep. So demon prince wings. He's got a relic. No worries. Whatever.
Yeah, he's got arch contaminator, and he's got the supplepolar plate. Whatever.
Supplepolar plate. Yeah.
I don't know how to fucking say that shit.
472 points, Kenny. I need to go ahead and before I tell you this unit, 472. So go ahead and stew that in your brain on what you could get. This cat decides to go 10 Blight Lord Terminators. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
Terminators.
Mm-hmm.
What a big dick bandit. He has 8 axes, 6 combi bolters, 2 blight launchers, and 2 flail of contagions.
It's like we broke it down to webcast. But all you got is it's got a bunch of war gear that you've never seen before. All you got to know is
never heard of.
All you got to know is this unit fucks. Like that's it. That's like it's a 400 point unit that gets it done. Right.
This unit must put in work,
and we just don't know how he's using. We know now how he's using it, but it's hard when you look at the list. You're like, what the fuck does this unit?
Yeah, you're like, what does he do?
Because what else? Because remember, it is a spearhead, so that means he has three plague burst crawlers, a single HQ who has to be near the crawlers to give him the arch contaminator ability. That's the demon prince, who also has like clutch mobility in a pinch, and this single fucking gigantic unit of terminators. There's no horde, nothing.
No, and he has one of my favorite models, the Foul Blight Spawn, aka R. Kelly. He pisses on people.
So good.
He pisses on people with strength 10. Excuse me, not strength 10. 2d6 strength, -3 damage.
Anytime something's 3 damage, with the fact that it's -3, 2d6 strength,
auto hits. I can get behind this guy.
D6, yeah.
It's 77 points. Add R. Kelly into every one of your lists. But either way,
you forgot the most important part though.
What's that?
Where if something assaults the
sure.
unit, they don't get to swing first. They lose the initiative.
Every body within 7 inches swings last of this dude.
Mm-hmm.
That ability is I don't even know if you can truly put it into words.
And what is this, like the elite character? Is that what this is? Or?
Yeah, the Foul Blight Spawn. Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. And so he had this plus the lance of 2 autocannon armorers, which is like just simply the best thing that Chaos could ever buy to shoot for the points. It's basically like Contemptor Dreadnought level, but their autocannons are fucking 3 flat damage. So that's really good. But also it gives him the 3 CPs for unlocking the double Gatling Cannon Knight. So Gatling Cannon Knight armorers. So like I already know from experience, because we have a battle report out on Inside the Monitoring Player where I play 3 Chaos Renegade armorers in a night. I already know what they do. I know that they move up the sides, they grab objectives, they move 14 inches to grab objectives. I know that they're not they're like a flank harassment units. And the knight, even in most of my games, doesn't really step out of his box until he has to. He's just like, I'm on this objective. Stand on this objective. That's a silencer, if you know what I'm talking about. And but then it's like, what does he do? Okay, obviously I know Plague Burst Crawlers, like they fuck as well, right? They blast you. And with the Arch Contaminator. So what does this fucking Terminator Squad do? Like, how's he get, what does it do?
Yeah, I just looked up the Plague Flail, or the Flail of Contagion. This thing's actually pretty legit. It deals out wounds. They go through. It's not like they just stick on one dude. So it's a plague weapon. So Arch Contaminator.
It rolls over, right?
Yep. So it's +2 strength, -2 AP, damage of 2, pretty clutch. Make D3 rolls for each attack with this weapon instead of 1. Excess damage from this weapon is not lost. Instead, keep allocating to another model and target unit until all the damage has been allocated or the unit has been destroyed. So
yeah, that seems good. But let me tell you, has that same ability and ain't nobody running them. Dark Angels Terminators.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do Dark Angels Terminators have disgusting resilient?
No, they don't have that.
Can they read all their wounds?
I don't know. I can't tell you. All I know is that special ability about, the black maces that they have, the Terminator maces, they have that same ability, and I was so high on it. But like, dude, this guy. So we're actually, George is coming in and telling us exactly how durable this Terminator unit is. It's 20 wounds with a 2+, 4++, 5++ feel no pain, and then can be given 2+ to wound.
+2 to wound. Yeah.
So,
and there's stratagems to bring a guy back to life. like if you need to, because like I think they have the access to that strategy.
Yeah.
Like so, like base. So here, but this is what we've learned. So what he's doing with this unit, Juice, is he's deep striking it in your backfield on turn 2, just like stringing it out, just taking over your backfield with this motherfucking unit. So like I talked about this in the webcast. A lot of people, because of the beta, have kind of forgot bubble wraps because people are coming
completely forgot about them. They feel like they don't need them anymore.
And when I play, I always leave a clutch unit kind of behind my shit as I move forward, because I'm always, if they have something that can deep strike that I'm worried about, like bloodletter bombs or anything that are just doing their turn 2 thug dizzle, I make sure not to forget my back screen, right? Because like I play that kind of game where I'm trying to break through people's screens anyway. So that makes a lot of sense to me that he's bringing this shit into your backfield after you forgot about the screens, because you're trying to get over there, trying to get shots on plague burst crawlers, armorers, and this knight. This is kind of all you're worried about. And you see a 10-man Terminator squad, you're like, whatever. And then this shit shows up your backfield. Really hard to kill, can possibly bring guys back to life, and it fucks. Right? Like it gets in there, and it's really good at killing elite shit and lots of models because with these blade flow rules.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. This unit really reminds me of the Bulgren Star that, obviously has been around for a year that I'm really getting behind now. And some other units that I'm working in the Beats lab, like there is something to be said with all these mass, as Kenny's using 120, models. And we're doing this as a concept of shitty units kill other shitty units. Well, what happens if you just put a brick of just durable individuals like these shitty dudes with all these shots and everything else? Really, you're going to have time chewing through them. So I love this concept. A 2-up save with a 5-up feel no pain. But
obviously they have access to the other Death Guard stratagems like mortal wounds and shit like that. So they can they can fuck shit up.
No, that's a great concept, because if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 blight launchers in there, right? So
like, 2 blight launchers.
And 24 fucking combi bolter shots.
Yeah, those the blight launchers are literally no joke either. If they can get close within that 8-inch range, if I'm not mistaken. And the blight launchers are 24.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean they can put out a shit ton of wounds. So I like it. And shout out Don Houston. This is the same guy who, if I'm not mistaken, Kenny Wright ran a ridiculous amount of plague burst crawlers.
Literally, broadside bash this year, he ran 10, I believe.
Yeah. So broadside bash the year previous, right?
No, like this year, because it was right when the beta dropped.
Oh, so before the beta dropped, right?
So they didn't enforce it. Yeah, like the beta dropped like the same weekend.
Okay, I want you to. Oh, that's right, because it was the one last hurrah. I actually heard a podcast from the guys out on the West Coast from Frontline Gaming, and they talked to Don about, I think one list he had was 10 or 11 or something like that when he originally brought this list out before the ban to 0 to 3. And he actually went on and was like, I have such a problem with these models that I am going to play them to bring them to light so they can get fixed. There's no reason why for 150 points or whatever it is, I should be able to get this model. So he literally did it in the extent of doing it. And I was like, I got mad respect for this cat. It's like, thank you.
Yeah, that's sometimes.
And now that we're elevating up to like esports level and like doing competitive 40K, we need people pressing the pace, because now that GW is actively fixing shit, it's no longer like, no, you shouldn't do that. No, we should. So GW, because they have been proactive as fuck fixing things. So like,
yeah, the game is a lot better now than what it was before. We're getting a lot more things fixed. We're getting like, are we so far to remove that? How sick was it when GW fixed the Storm Raven? We all thought, oh, they're just going to price hike Storm Ravens. It's going to be stupid to even bring them. And we're like, holy shit, that was the sickest fix that they've ever done. So I've got mad respect for GW right now with how they're coming to the table. So, and I have no doubt that with the fall, is it big FAQ, Robbie B, or what's coming in the fall? What's coming up?
The same big one, FAQ? Twice a year. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm excited to see how that changes the meta. Like, I mean,
we could definitely make some bold predictions as it gets closer. I mean,
I am full of bold predictions. I can go right now.
And before we, because we are running out of time here, I just want to, somebody talking about the webcast juice is like, so people were like, oh, this is crazy meta. Like, is this the normal thing? And I like to remind people, like, meta is typically what we decide it is as a community, right? Like, we decided it was Alpha Strike, so it was Alpha Strike until it wasn't, right? Lots of things factor into that. Things like popularity do. So Knights are popular, Like I said, like I know that my double knight list for chaos, my double renegade might not be my best version of chaos, but I'm fucking gonna play it. And if everyone is thinking that way all at once, that's what it will shift to. But don't think this is the permanent shift. But in the meantime, you definitely need to build lists that can deal with knights.
Yeah. If I played my first 2 games in my 3-round little RTT, my first 2 games had knights in it. 1 chaos, 1 good guys. I mean, they're just there. They're all around. I've been saying it since it came out for at least the last couple of decks. Tyranids are on the downward trend. They're not as strong. They're not this. But let me tell you what. If knights get better, nids get better. So I'm praying for it. I'm hoping that we see nothing but 5 knights running around and whatnot, because I got knight builds that, I don't even have to play the game. It's that good against them. But, that's the thing about going to a tournament. Sometimes matchups don't happen. Sometimes you get them. Sometimes you can dodge them. So I'm excited. I think Gene Stealer Cult is going to change the face of the game.
Space Wolves, Orcs, Gene Stealer Cult. We're going to have a lot of meta busters.
We have major hitters that are codexes that are still coming out. This is no joke.
There may be a Yunari deck, supposedly.
There may be a new Grey Knight Codex.
No.
Damn.
No.
It's called Custodes.
There was one. It was called Custodes. Custodes.
Yeah. Custodes. Space Wolves, though. Don't get it twisted.
You ready?
That'll bring you back.
Eat your face. We will eat your face.
Haspel, right. I just need to put a scenario out there to you. The book comes out. Your special limited edition comes in. You say that you're not going to buy it, but you do. You open up the book, and Ragnar Blackmane is like one of the first models you see. His rules are badass. Logan Grimnar has got his ass out of that dumbass sled that he was riding in, and he's back standing up on top of a badass rock with eagles killing the eyeballs and eating eyeballs of his dead, wounded soldiers.
Yeah.
How fast are you coming back to the game? Give me the go, no go.
No, I'm trying to get back into it. It's just that I just don't have time. Like,
how many wolf tooth necklaces would it take for you to get back in playing hardcore again?
I don't think I think I'm done with the competitive side of things. I'll be honest.
Haspel, straight up, if they literally bring back the wolf tooth necklace and it literally says always hits on a 3 regardless of modifiers, which are a real thing in the game, and it's not just in close combat, it's just always hits on a 3 regardless of like.
It's got to say in the rules 66% of the time it works every time.
And then you're back.
We now know the limits.
No, I mean, if they bring back like Lieben Russ, if they bring back a bunch of stuff, I'm pumped for the Space Wolves, right? But I got to tell you, I have like 12,000 points of Space Wolves, so I'm not buying a whole lot new, but the decks. You know what I mean? And it's like maybe some Primaris to fill out some squads, but I don't know. I just, I don't know. I don't play ITC, so it seems like everything is going ITC. So I really don't have anything to play. You know what I mean? As far as competition goes. So
fair point. All right, let's do this thing. Rob, I know you're holding a cat and I can hear that cat.
It's not true.
Rob's like, no, you can't. I was muted.
Yeah, I was muted. You don't know. Haspel takes us out. I was woefully unprepared.
You have to conclude the show, and then Haspel takes us out. We've been doing this for like 5 years.
No, this is a new concept. We've actually never done this before.
I'm not holding the cat, and that is it for this one. Haspel takes us out.
Because the house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the odds. The house takes you. Unless when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.